Residency year curriculum. What are the key components of an effective residency year curriculum?
Student-ready teachers need to know content. They need to know it inside and out. They need to know pre-K through 12 student standards, and that has to be put at the center of how we're preparing teachers. We need to be thinking about what it is kids need to know and be able to do, and ensure that we're infusing our teacher preparation, our residency year experience with that at the center, starting with that and answering for that.
Residencies in the NCTR network build their curriculum around the classroom experience and align it to what matters for students.
So we track resident progress by making sure that it's grounded in the residency curriculum or standards, which are what they need to know and be able to do. So clarity of instructional purpose, accuracy of content, classroom management, learning environment, student intellectual engagement, and successful learning for all.
We spent months learning how to write a lesson plan, how to make sure all of our students are engaged, so that by the time we get to our lead teach, it's not an abstract concept. It's something we've been practicing and really learning the skills of how to do that successfully.
Feedback and coaching from mentor teachers is a hallmark of the residency model and gives resident teachers multiple opportunities to practice what they're learning in real-time settings.
There are times when I'm teaching a lesson and my mentor will casually just come up and whisper something in my ear, like, try this or see if this will work. And so it's really direct. And I also say it's written. So we meet once a week to set goals for things that I'm going to focus on for the next week. For example, if it was classroom management, it might be making sure I call on every student during a lesson and not just focusing on the student that's raising their hand. So really making sure everyone is engaged. So it's really specific feedback. And I think in setting weekly goals, it really allows for us to be able to focus on one skill at a time until we master it.
Residents, mentors, and professors talk about how powerful it is to have a real-time connection between their coursework and their classroom teaching.
I think the fact that our faculty are involved in really preparing our candidates, and I know some programs use their own staff to teach the courses, I think that's a strength of our program as well. It's sometimes challenging because, you know, we have approved program requirements and those kinds of things, but I think that's been a strength of our work.
For example, last fall in teaching the secondary social studies methods course, I was going over some theory and some ideas about how to get to a big idea and how history is more than a bunch of facts and dates that we memorize. And so that's somewhat conceptual, and we start with a theoretical viewpoint and then we bring it down to what this looks like in the classroom. And in that course, there were residents and non-residents. What I noticed is that the non-residents were more hesitant, more cynical about this idea and how to do it in the classroom. And the residents, because they were processing and then going back and trying something the very next day, were more readily adapting this. And so one said, no, I can show you. And it was just beautiful because she got right up and said, let me show you what I did yesterday and how this works. And she started doing the lesson right there.
An important part of the residency experience is having mentors demonstrate and model strong teaching practices for their residents in order to show what effective teaching looks like. The residents, in turn, are able to try it themselves. Afterwards, the resident and their coach or mentor reflect on how it went and plan how to improve next time.
The way to really get residents to believe that the things that we're teaching them to do, what we believe they should know and be able to do, are also the things that are going to really make them an excellent teacher, and an excellent teacher for every single student in no matter what school, is to have them actually see it happening in action. So we actually go into the classroom and we do it. And then even though the teacher's not necessarily doing some of those practices, they were able to see it in action. And then I can see them go, oh, I really want to do that next year.